Hi, my name is Carla Venters, and I am going to do my informative speech today about gangs. I know we all are familiar with what gangs are. It's basically a gang is an organization or a group of people that have associated themselves based upon religion, race, ethnic background. The scarves, hats, bandanas, symbols, numbers. Gangs can come up with a majority of a lot of things. Gangs today make up a large population of schools, neighborhoods, or sometimes gangs are located in the prisons. Gangs are all around us, even some that we don't know. I want to start off by giving you some facts about gangs. A gang is a group of people who claim a territory and use it to make money through illegal activities such as drug trafficking, guns, and so forth. Gangs can be organized based upon your race, your territory, your age, the way you make money, the activities that you like to do. Members were articles of clothing. I know one of the major ones were Bloods and Crips. If you wore red, you wore a Blood. If you wore blue, you wore a Crip. And just by wearing those colors, you associated yourself with that particular gang. Gangs are taking over. I mean, they're far from a positive thing, and we see it a lot of with kids ranging from ages 8 to 22. When you join a gang, the first thing that they start off by doing is what you call initiation. When you're being initiated into a gang, it doesn't. Sometimes you're being jumped into the gang for initiation, or asked to go out and do some type of violent crime. It's been going on here in the past year that it was a gang going around here in the Dallas Fort Worth area that were preying upon young women. They were asking them for help, and then they would prey upon them, and by doing that illegal act, that was their way of being initiated into the gang. Um, I also have some more facts about gangs. There's gangs that are taking over Dallas. Sometimes they have gangs that are just by area codes. If your area code is 214, that was a gang, or if you stay in one particular part of the neighborhood, that was a gang. If you stay in one part of the state, you formed a gang. San Antonio, they have a lot of gangs there also. According to the FBI, there's over 33,000 violent street gangs, motorcycles, and prison gangs in the U.S. More than 1.4 million. That's a 40% increase from 2009. So here today in 2013, there's 14 million individuals involved in gangs. There's over 33,000 different types of gangs. Now, 80% of the U.S. citizens with a population of 100,000 or more to report gang activity. So that's just basically by going out and seeing something that happens with the gang and so forth. Now, in the recent years, I'm looking down. I actually have some note cards here. In the recent years, gangs are participating in more non-traditional crimes such as prostitution, smuggling, human trafficking, white collar crimes. And when I say white collar crimes, I'm speaking of identity theft, taking one's identity and getting credit cards, buying items, doing insurance scams, company frauds. Those are what we call the white collar crimes. California, New Mexico, Nevada, Illinois, and Idaho, those are the highest concentration of gang members. There's more than 6,000 gang members per state that I just named. So out of those 6 states, those are 6,000 gang members. So those 6 states have 36,000 plus gang members alone. Now, neighborhood based gangs pose the highest rate of significant threat for violent crimes in the U.S. versus national street level gangs. Because when you're dealing with neighborhood gangs, you're dealing with a lot of killing because everyone's so close together. I know in Miami they were going gangs by housing projects, and if you stayed in one housing project, you were associated with that gang, and if you stayed in another housing project, you were associated with that gang. And these housing projects were one street, basically one block over from each other. Gangs are taking over a lot of our youth these days, and they're very controlling. A lot of times once you get into a gang, it's said very hard to get out. There's been sometimes when you're trying to leave a gang that you're then having to be put into protective custody because those gang members feel as though you have betrayed them and they're going to go out and try to kill you or do whatever they have to do in order to make sure that you don't leak out any of their secrets out for that gang. A lot of times that happens in the prison also, that once we have a lot of inmates that say they have life in prison or 30 plus years, so they find comfort within the gangs. A lot of times when you have members that don't have mothers and fathers, they turn to the gangs. Now, I don't support gangs in any type of way. I'm very anti-gang, but they are taking over. I recommend that we get involved with our youth, know what your kids are doing, be active in the community so that we can get the rate of street gangs down because they are taking over, and this is very, 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 very unreasonable that we would let this do that. I feel if we all stand together as individuals and as one, we can take over the high rate of gang activities, gang crimes, gang deaths, just gang activity and gang population rising all together. If we come together as a community and stand up and everyone join, then we're able to stop these gangs. Thank you.